Hey. Watching this thing about forbidden romance books. I took a nap. I feel really good. My water. You guys should be proud of me.
Because I deleted Twitter off my phone, and therefore I'm just not on Twitter that often anymore. Yay!
I'm drinking
However, I
water.
am still on Twitter, and I saw something on Twitter that made my skin crawl, and we're gonna talk about it. There's a book that's going around right now, and it's being reprinted because I think it originally was published in 2016, but now it's being reprinted to, you know, one of those inconspicuous covers that's like very vague. You can't tell what kind of book it is. You know the type of book I'm talking about. How like a lot of the romance books now have like those cartoon covers, whatever, or sometimes there's not even cartoon covers. It's just like flowers. It's very low-key, generally speaking. I'm okay with low-key covers. That's not where my issue
Right
is.
here.
This intro paragraph. This is page 15 of the book. The very first chapter talks about Asher. Asher's the father of Kenzie, who is the 18-year-old girl that the dude gets with. Okay? So Asher and Ember have this baby girl named Kenzie. Their best friend in the whole wide world, Torin Grace, was there at launch day. He was there since birth. This is what Torin has to say about Kenzie from the day she was born. Again, Torin's the uncle. At that moment, a connection was born. That was it. She owned me. My niece. My goddaughter. Yeah, I forgot to mention, not only is he a pseudo-uncle, he is also the godfather. Another cherry on top of that shit sandwich.
What kind of a sandwich has cherries on top? A shitty one.
Cheers to that. Okay, my niece, my goddaughter, the love of my life. So what now? I would pray that because here's the thing, I think Asher and Ember had Kenzie when they were 15. So they had the baby when they were 15 years old. That's why he is 15 years older than Kenzie. I would hope that 15-year-old Torin isn't holding his little goddaughter, his little niecey niece. I would pray that he wasn't thinking about her potentially being the love of his life. I'm pretty sure that's not the case. Okay, I will give you that. I'm almost positive that's not what he was thinking when she was born. But I don't like that's now how he views that moment. How many people could say that they were there the second that their wives were born? Too many, but not enough for it to be a concern to people, apparently. That's page 15. That's the beginning of the book. I say that there's not really a lot of plot in this book because I'm gonna be honest, what's happening in the book other than their relationship blossoming, nothing's happening. There's not even like a subplot. There's like not even an A story and a B story. Like it's just them slowly falling for each other, and then a bunch of random stuff happens in the middle. The only thing that happens in the book is just Torin having like a mental breakdown at the thought of him being attracted to his niece and trying to fight the urge. Kenzie's just
Anybody that's attracted to their damn niece.
my uncle. I don't give a fuck. Can I read this to you?
Anybody attracted to their own niece needs to go to hell.
Sums up the entirety of this book. Okay, this is Torrance speaking here. Well, he's not speaking. He's like in his head.
Hold on, because I hate when my cover is like touching the fucking ground.
I can't. And then remember rocking her to sleep. She's a baby. The next.
Okay.
I feel like it was the Twilight Zone. Really, this is forbidden romance. Pseudo uncle godfather. Now I don't read any really forbidden romances. The only forbidden romance that I
I'm not gonna eat that shit.
Douglas. Again, it's about a girl who gets with her step uncle and step cousin. Spoiler alert, she ends up getting with one of the cousins at the end of the day. I'm not gonna tell you who, that doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. Now I'm gonna be honest. I thought Credence was bad until I read this book, and I was like, why are you making Credence look like an angel in this story? Because here are the differences between Credence and Torn. So in Credence, right?
So basically, this book is about a predator.
You know, it gives people, it helps people with that cognitive dissonance on the fact that they're supposed to be related, right? It helps alleviate some of that because, well, they're not related by blood. So it's not biologically incest. Big fucking whoop. So that's one thing. The second thing is that the main character in Credence, the girl, her name, I can't remember her name. I'm sorry. The main girl, she isn't introduced to these step uncles and step cousins until she is 17, turning 18 very, very soon. Because that's another thing I've noticed. Why can't they just be 18? Just be 18 from the jump. Why does there need to be this whole, you know what, I know exactly why there needs to be, I know the answer. I know the answer, but at the same time, it's like, why can't they just be 18? Since we care about the law so much around here all of a sudden, why can't they just be 18 from the cuff? I feel like that can alleviate some of the issues that some people have with forbidden romances. Some of it, not all of it, but it helps a little bit.
Okay.
Not enough, but it helps a little.
This is my jacket
Step uncles and step cousins even exist until she's
that I'm making.
and so
Okay, I'm putting the Phoenix patch probably like right here.
I feel like that again, the
Boom.
cognitive dissonance. I feel like that kind of that helps them justify what happens in that household a little.
Icy boy.
Truthfully,
Hold on.
this kind of
Let me
scenario,
place
this
the
kind of
other one.
situation, that may be like best case scenario. It's like not growing up with them, not being related to them, and whatever. It's like legally there's nothing.
This is
holding them
going
back.
to be
It's
icy.
looks odd just based off of like their relationship with each other, but like people can argue.
Look at this shit.
against that. There's like a solid argument there, and
Yes.
before people jump on me, but at the same time, there are people.
This hoe finna be icy.
This, however, Torn, no, yeah, but this book, yeah, I was like, absolutely not. This book, Torn, solidified it for me. I was like, no, this isn't acceptable. Yeah, with forbidden romances, there's the whole conversation of legality versus morality. It's like the legality.
This hoe is already hard as
these types
fuck.
of books by a thread, like this specific type of forbidden romance. There are all sorts of types of forbidden romance. In fact, no, I lied to you before. this is not the only forbidden. Credence and this book, those are not the only two forbidden romances. Technically, I read another forbidden romance, Twisted Games by Anna Huang. Alright, technically that was a forbidden romance because it was between a princess and her bodyguard, and they're not supposed to be together. That's different. That is different. Also, that one also has an age gap in it, but it's fine because the princess, she's in her 20s,
I feel like,
and the bodyguard is in his 30s.
And then imagine...
That's fine. That's another. I'll get to age gaps in a second.
The Phoenix is right
age
here.
gaps as a concept. But yeah, forbidden romances, when it's like, princess versus bodyguard, or like, mafia romances. Again, Romeo and Juliet-esque type of romances. I'm fine with those. In fact, I think I like them. I haven't read that many of them, but I think that the concept, I'm okay with the concept, so I wouldn't be opposed to reading something like that. But yeah, forbidden romances, when it's just like borderline incest. Borderline. It's dancing around the concept of incest. It's not technically incest, but it might as well be. It might as well, like, if you have to pull out, well, technically, no. Shut that down. Why even play with that fire? That's ridiculous. I almost forgot. And before we start going crazy and saying, oh, it's okay, because Torin didn't start catching feelings for Kenzie until she was 18. That's not true. And I have the receipts. Listen to this. Okay, so this is from page 255. Okay, so Torin is having a conversation with somebody, I don't know who. I think it's one of his siblings. By the way, when his siblings found out that he was in love with his niecey niece, they were a little too accepting. Like, nobody in the book challenged this relationship except for the dad, who's also the best friend. I'll get to that in a second. Torin says, no, things between her and me changed a few weeks ago. It happened kind of suddenly. My mind is completely fucked over it. And then, I don't know who this is, I'm so sorry. And then someone says, I'm sure it is, he agrees, and nothing like that happens suddenly, man. I think it's been happening for a long time. And then Torin, inner dialogue here, says, the fact that it's true makes me wonder if there really is something wrong with me, if I've been falling in love with Kenzie for years. What the hell kind of person does that make me? And I left a note. I highlighted the passage and left a note in my Kindle, because he's like, what does this make me? And I wrote Lightning McGroomer. So, oh look, also Lightning McQueen's on the back of my Kindle too. How on fame. Now, this doesn't explicitly confirm anything, but let's be fucking honest, that whoever was talking, that person was right. You don't just magically see a minor as like a minor, and then like this day of their 18th birthday, like something switches in their brain where it's like, you know what? I tapped that.
Still, what if
He's
30?
not
It's
70.
Just, when he was 30, she was an actual child. When he was her age, she wasn't born. When he was, let's see, like 18, she was literally in there, in your womb. Imagine being pregnant with your daughter and a bird teenager comes into your home and says, I'll take that, I'll have sex with that.
No, that doesn't happen overnight. No. This guy has been pining subconsciously.
Why does it matter? Like, they're not that old. Like, is that supposed to be a joke? He's literally only like 56. Like, I don't have time to play today.
For years, when she was a minor, because this shit does not just come, it doesn't happen out of nowhere. He wasn't hit with Cupid's arrow in the back, and suddenly his whole worldview has changed. And another justification for this book that a lot of people have, and by a lot of people I really mean like the Goodreads reviews that were posted from like 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, a lot of people were like, it's okay because he loves her. This isn't grooming, because he loves her. Like, actually is in love with her, and he isn't using her to sexually abuse her because he loves her. You know what this man is in love with? Do you want to know why this man loves Kenzie in the first place? It's because Kenzie idolized him from the day she was born, okay? Because throughout the book, which is so vile, by the way, because it's like, why does this need to be part of the book? But I digress. Throughout parts of the book, there are little blurbs at the beginning of every chapter that flash back to when Kenzie was a child, whether that be literally the day that she was born or back when she was like 8 or 9. It could be from when she was like 13. Point is like it shows the relationship between Kenzie and Torin through different points of her life, you know, really emphasizing the fact that he was there for her and he raised that girl. And she, throughout all of these little flashbacks, it is clear that Kenzie idolized him. Torin was there for a lot of big events that Kenzie had in her life, because I didn't mention this before, but Kenzie's parents, Asher and Ember, they were famous musicians, and so they were touring a lot. And when they would go on tour, Torin would babysit for long amounts of time. Sometimes her parents would miss out on things. There was this one chapter that emphasized that the first time that Kenzie had a period, and Torin was the only person that was there for which she was going through this life-changing event. You know, because periods suck. Ugh, first periods are the worst, man. I remember mine. We're not gonna talk about it, but I'm just saying. I'm like, yeah, that's a core memory. That's core memory shit right there. And Torin was there for pretty much all of those core memories. Kenzie has always idolized them. There was even this one point where Torin was in jail for assault, and Kenzie was writing letters to him. She was 10 at the time, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, she was 10 years old, and she was writing letters to Torin saying, like, you know, I still love you. I can't wait for you to come back. And frankly, throughout Kenzie's entire life, Torin could do no wrong. This unconditional love that Kenzie has given Torin has just made him love her in return. Like, because Torin honestly believes that he's a screw up because he doesn't have a wife, he doesn't have children, he just feels like he just has no direction in life, and he has like a drinking problem. And again,
Hey, Margarita.
Hey.
You been all right? I bought some beer.
Yeah.
If you want a shot or some shit.
Yeah.
You good? You got a cup? A little cup?
No.
Okay. Well,
I'll come up there and get one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes,
I probably shouldn't get a shot. Yeah, I shouldn't get a shot. Because I'm trying to do good today. Really, I am. I'm really trying to do good.
he was literally in jail for the assault. In and out of jail, it's like he really feels like a fuck up in life. And Kenzie has been the only person, allegedly, that has loved him unconditionally throughout all of his misfortunes. That's not a basis for love. You want unconditional love? Get a dog! He does have a dog. He rescues dogs, by the way. That's another thing. People are like, oh, but Torin's okay because he rescues puppies. I don't give a fuck. Oh, he rescues puppies, so that's okay. What? I don't care about that. I don't care. Like genuinely, that has to be the dumbest reason. The dumbest reason. They're like, Torin's not a bad guy. He saves kittens and puppies. But that doesn't justify anything in my head. What? I'm getting a headache. I'm kidding. I've got a migraine.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
That's a great song. Listen.
I was just like chilling, minding my business, and then all of a sudden her videos came up, and it was one way worse than this when somebody was like, this woman wrote this book, and it's by a woman. This woman wrote this book, and it's basically about this guy falling in love with a three-year-old. This guy falling in love with a 3-year-old, and it's really graphic. At one point he's talking about how he's looking through her. It's just crazy. At one point he's talking about how he's looking through her skirt. It's just wild. Like, seriously. And she basically, I guess she got arrested for that. All right. And I think they ended up, and there's like something about the dad's best friend, because he was the dad's best friend, and in this one he's the dad's best friend. But I don't know nobody that has a dad and a best friend, so I just can't, like, Yeah, I can't think about who's like, I'm trying to figure out like if I'm in like a bad situation. I mean, but I am, but it's like it's not this severe. Like it's severe, but it's just not. Like I don't know. I mean, isn't it too late to figure out if I'm in a bad situation? Like,
Listen to it. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Sorry, my grandma's calling me now. Sorry
I
about.
guess I kind of want to see in the mind of a predator. Like, what do people like? You say, for instance, like, you know how people like preying on people? Like, what do people actually say? Like, I mean, like, what do predators actually think? Because he, in that one book, when he was like fantasizing about the 3 year old, he was like, he looked through her legs and he seen like, he said, pretty little pink PUSSY. Like, I just be wanting to know, like, what is the thought behind that? Because Chris says like little things sometimes, and it'll make me feel like really icky. Like, but I'd be letting it go. It's not as bad as it used to be. Like when I was younger, he used to say like really icky shit to me. I'm enjoying it, girl. So I don't know.
About that, granddaughter duties come first. But yeah, I just kind of want to talk about age gaps for a second, though, because I think that a lot of people think that I care just about the age gap. That's not true. Age gap romances are fine. I don't have any issues with those, especially if the younger person in the relationship is like in their 20s and the older one is like in their 30s, maybe even in their 40s, 50s. Whatever, as long as they are well above age, I don't care. When you play with the 18, okay, you're just playing with legality. You're just doing the youngest you could possibly go without people trying to call the police on you. Must they have to be 18?
Is that
What is the
really what?
benefit of
Is that really what it is though? Because I started dating Chris when I was 19. So is that really what it is? Like, do I need to like pump my fucking brakes and like just be like, okay, let me look at this. This is just crazy. I don't know what to do. I feel like his secrets are getting revealed to me, like, and they're not at the same time. Like, I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know. I still don't change my mind. I still don't change my mind. And that's the crazy thing. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, honestly, like, who knows?
them being 18 in this relationship? Like, what?
I'm
Like, how does
stuck.
this
I'm not
benefit you in
stuck,
any?
but now I am.
No, it's because you want to play. You want to play with the fire. You want to play with the fire, and I can tell that you want to play with the fire. And I'm going to tell you right now that you're going to get burned. I'm not letting people get away with that. I don't even care anymore. I don't care about the legality. I don't care about that. It's about the morals. It's about the principle. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the younger person being in their 20s, or hell, being in their 30s, but mainly the 20s thing. I'm like, what is wrong with the younger person being in their 20s in these age gap relationships? Like, why can't that be a thing? And that is a thing. I know there are people out there who write age gaps, and that is exactly what they do. And I'm okay with those. I haven't read them personally, so, can't 100% endorse it because I haven't read it. But the concept, though, I'm okay with that. I think a lot of people have this opinion about Torn by Carrie and Cole. They have this opinion that, like, this is romanticizing grooming. This is textbook grooming. He knew her from the day that she was born. He was there. He raised her from the day that she was born. Like, that is my biggest issue about this book. I feel like I would have a completely different opinion about this book if that wasn't being hammered home so much throughout the entire book. Like, they don't let you forget that they have known each other since the day that she was born. It's like, how can you even enjoy, like, genuinely?
And then I really want to, okay, there's this thing, and I know I'm not crazy. Everything I've said, like, by far has been the truth. I'm almost 1,000% sure. I don't know how I know, but I know for a fact there is somewhere where you can literally buy your wife. Like, I don't know what you got to be connected into, but like, when people be like, yeah, that person, they bought them. Like, I really think that is a real thing. And I think that some people really have access to that. But I really feel like it's connected to like child pornography or some shit. I don't know. I never seen it. It's probably like on the black market or something. But I feel like I'm just shut up. I feel like it's connected to child pornography and of course trafficking. But I feel like you can buy somebody, especially if they're like, of course people sell their virginities all the time, like, you know, it's like buying someone's virginity or something. I don't know. I just know that it's a thing. I'm not saying that's what happened to me, but sometimes it's kind of what it feels like, because it's like, say for instance, like it's really, and this has never happened to me before in a relationship. Like, okay, for instance, I've never come into contact with more than one person with the same name. Like, if I dated a Mustafa, that was the only Mustafa I've ever dated. But Chris, I swear to God on Jesus Christ, I didn't came into contact with about 6 people. And it's a common name, yeah. But a lot of the niggas that I've dated have a common name. I dated this nigga named Charles, and I've never dated a nigga named Charles before, and that's a common ass name. And then I'll see his name everywhere, like see his name everywhere. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. And then like I could say the most horriblest, meanest shit, the most horriblest, meanest shit to him, and he will still come back. Like, I don't know if that's like, oh, I love you, seriously, or like that's like something else. I don't know. All I know is it is weird. Like, if you like, it's like being bombarded by someone. Like, I don't know what to say. I really don't. Like, I'm just letting it go. Fuck it. I do feel like all of this is a thing, though. It's gross, bro.
Enjoy the romance in this book when that.
And then I recently read that like women predators, like, which is disgusting to me. Women predators, I don't know why they like disgust me more than male predators for some reason, but women predators are just not it. But they say when a woman is paired with a male predator, she's more likely to abuse kids too. I don't know. Not me, though. Not me, bitch. I'm just saying, and it's statistically proven, bitch. I hate it. I mean, I gotta stop saying that shit.
Is a constant reminder throughout the book. I'm like, so you can't even just like tone it out and pretend that that's not even like a thing in the book. That's quite literally the most prominent thing about the book. Oh, well, he raised me. He helped raise me. This is a bad idea. Seeing you tonight. It's a bad idea, right? That's not what Olivia Rodrigo was talking about. And I genuinely do believe that this book does.
That's kind of how. This is so bad. Because what am I supposed to do? Like, what am I supposed to do? What, like, at this point, what, like, you telling me this information, like, what the fuck do you want me to do with the information? Because it's like, I didn't try everything in the world. Like, you told me to leave a bitch. I left him. Like, literally, I deleted his number, blocked him, and swiped and deleted his contacts so I could never remember his number again, bitch. I did everything under the sun that you could possibly do. What the fuck else do you want me to do? I blocked him. Like, he's literally when me and Chris texting, he's not even supposed to be texting me right now because he's fucking blocked. I don't know. I don't know what it's called. I think it's called torn or some shit. That's what I'm just saying. Like, there's no point of telling me shit now. You might as well keep it to your fucking self.
The grooming aspects of this.
I mean, as long as he's not fucking raping kids, what the fuck if he has like this weird fetish going, I mean, what can I say? Like, but like, if he's like raping kids, okay, come on, like that is definitely, it's over, it's forever. But like, or like if he's molesting kids, are we taking this far? Like, I don't think that's what's going on. Yeah, they take shit far, bro. Every time. Like,
books
you
like
get it.
Lolita, for example.
Oh my
Because here's the
god.
thing, when it comes to age gap romances like this, where it is very, very taboo, it is very questionable at best. I think that you can write about stuff like this. I'm not saying that you absolutely shouldn't. I'm okay with Lolita existing as a book.
Man,
And
I
here's
ain't
why.
never even
I
seen
think
Lolita.
when it comes to
I
Lolita,
don't
a
even know
lot
what
of
that is.
people who read Lolita walk away from Lolita not thinking that the relationship is okay. People don't read Lolita
I seen like
because they
clips of
think
that. I don't know if this is Lolita, but she was like a prostitute, wasn't she? Like in a brothel. She was like a little kid, and like I know she was like in love with that man. She was in love with that man, and he basically, I don't know what he wanted to do.
this is an epic love story or a great forbidden romance. Like I don't think that's what people are categorizing the book as mentally, because the narrator in Lolita very
Yeah, whatever. I don't give a fuck about their race. They both look white to me. She don't look white. She like she's something else. I don't know her real name is. I forgot. But she like she's something completely else. She don't look white. You know, you look at some people and they have like pale skin, but they don't look white. Like the Kardashians, they don't look white. You know, you could tell like they're Armenian or whatever they are. Like she look like she's something else. She could be white. I don't know what the fuck she is. For all the fuck. I don't know if she passed or not, but it's looking like she may not because they didn't answer the phone. She thought if his wife wasn't a pig, she'd be with him. She shot his wife in the head. Oh, I need to watch that. Look, I need to watch that because that's some shit to be on my mind. But I ain't never dated no married man before, and I do thank God for that. I do thank God for that. I don't even actually want to go. I don't never want to go down that rabbit hole of where I'm in love with somebody and they in love. I don't know. Because that shit gonna come back to you, bitch. I ain't never even cheated before. That's probably why I'm so prone to victimization. But I ain't don't even cheat. Like, I just be doing me, bitch. If I'm stuck and trapped and tortured and fucking abused by that person, that just is what it is until I move away or get the fuck away from them. You gotta understand though, if you with a controlling ass nigga, you're not going to cheat. Like, it's gonna be like you're gonna be so scared to cheat. I mean, some people do, but it's just that to me that's survival skills. If this is put two and two together, if you're controlling as fuck, you already put your hands on me and I ain't even doing shit. Imagine if I do something. That's what I be thinking in my head. Okay, maybe that's not Lolita because that's not her name. Her name is something else. Her name is something else. She played in that movie. I'm talking about the girl that also played in that movie where her and her cousin get stranded on the island, and then she have sex with her cousin. I don't know what her name is. It's on the tip of my tongue though. I can't. I see the picture of her. I don't know what her name is though. I'm talking about her. I don't think that one called Lolita. I think we're talking about two different things. I never watched neither of them because it just sounded disgusting.
Unreliable, very deranged, and it's clear that his line of thinking is very skewed. I think that intellectuals who read this book can read the book and know damn well that the actions that are being portrayed in this book are wrong, but you can still enjoy the book. That's okay. Like, that's my like. And now some people really don't like Lolita because they just think that the whole concept as an entirety, whether it's satire or whether it's supposed to be like whatever for whatever reason, even if the book is not condoning it, right, they still think that like the concept shouldn't be written about, and that's an opinion that people are allowed to have, and I'm not going to sit here and tell them that they're wrong for thinking that. But I think that Lolita does a better job at portraying this kind of relationship because it's not supposed to be glamorous. It really isn't. It's not. This isn't some Romeo and Juliet story. Okay, this guy was a creep. He was a pedo, and we should not be condoning that kind of behavior in that kind of relationship. But with Torn, I'm not getting the same vibe. Nothing in the book, nothing in the dialogue states or expresses any sort of distaste for the relationship. And like I said earlier, most of the characters, almost all of the characters actually, scratch that, are not challenging this relationship. Again, when Torn's siblings hear that Torn loves Kenzie, they see nothing wrong with it. They're like, the heart wants what it wants. Good luck with that, brother. What? Don't get me started with Kenzie's friends. Kenzie's friends are just, they're totally okay with it because they're 18 years old too. And they're like, oh, hot older guy. Love that for you. Go Kenzie. And like I said, the only person in the book who actually says, what the fuck, is the dad. And the interesting part about the dad being the one to talk about this, it's like all of the points that the dad made in the book when he was confronting Kenzie and Torrin, like separately, he did it separately, but like when he was confronting specifically Torrin though, he was saying everything that I was thinking the entire time that I was reading the book. That is your goddaughter. That is your niece. You helped raise her. You babysat her. You changed her diapers. How could you do this? I'm your best friend. How on earth could you possibly, in your sick mind, be okay with this happening? I just can't even for the I cannot. It's so bizarre. Like I said, Asher, the dad, he says everything that I was thinking, everything, and I was like, finally, something with the brain, because I was getting very, very concerned because Torrin was like so worried about his reputation. Yet every single person who eventually found out about the relationship seemed to be okay with it, for the most part, relatively speaking. Again, with the exception of the dad, and I was like, what? And then later down the line, towards the end of the book, towards the epilogue, whatever, the dad does fold like a fucking lawn chair and was like, you know, guys, I can't say that I approve. I really want my daughter,
She actually funny, bro, because what the fuck?
So I'm gonna give you my blessing. Grow a spine.
If it's a dark romance,
apparently. Nobody,
which I'm not into, and okay, I'm not talking about it anymore, but that bitch is into that type of stuff. Now I'm getting it. It's making sense now. Because I told you guys, I'm like, yeah, he watches these weird romance movies that I've never seen in my life. It's almost like pornographic, but it's like, it's not like, I don't know, it's not normal. I don't know. I just be like, that's exactly what this is. Like, it's a romantic, I don't know. I'm over it. Call me tomorrow.
The entire time, and that's why I think that this book is romanticizing. And you know how it is being the person with like the one differing opinion. You know, it's really hard to really stick with your guns when everybody around you is saying the complete opposite thing of you. You know, it's like at a certain point, it's like you just get tired of fighting. You accept it. You force yourself to accept it because it's just easier. It's easier life to live than to stand by your morals. And I totally understand it. And so it's like, yes, I am so upset that the father in this scenario, he just did not have a backbone to save his goddamn life. But, oh my god, I almost forgot. There's this one part of the book where Torrin was arguing with the father because Torrin was like saying, no, not Torrin, excuse me. The father was like, again, saying like, you know, you helped raise her, you changed her diapers, you babysat her, how could you do this? Torrin's rebuttal to that, by the way, I almost forgot to mention this, Jesus Christ, was, yeah, well, you were on tour, and you left your baby girl with me.
Okay, I'm letting it go. Shut the fuck up.
Gave her to me. It's not my fault that I was there, and I had to be the one to hold, like, to keep up with her emotions, to give her her emotional needs.
She
I
really
was
read the
like,
fuck out this
"Whoa,
book, I tell you that.
that's not the Serb you think that is. He didn't give you his daughter like that, you sick fuck." I
Hi.
was very appalled by that. I worry about people who genuinely hold this belief. Oh, well, you neglected her. You didn't give her the emotional attention that she needed. So I did it for you. And now this is your fault. There's just so much wrong with this book. And like I said, there are so many Goodreads reviews. I was reading them and I was just very, very concerned. A lot of people are just saying like, oh, this is a great romance. I loved the romance between the two characters and da 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 da. I'm gonna be honest, you know, some people were even like fighting or combating against people who were negatively reviewing this book, being like, well,
Okay, now someone's trying to stop me from talking. Block my throat chakra. Alright. I said I was letting it go long ago. Fine. I'm over it. I was just saying. Funny. Funny, funny. I know that you think that I'm probably a fat bitch, but I'm really not. Ow.
well, if you don't like it, then just walk away. Like, why go out of your way to leave such a negative review? Right? Why am I taking time out of my day to make a YouTube video about this? You're not going to take the high road on this one. I never properly finished that sentence, so I just want to say, if you're trying to take the high road, because I spent so long talking negatively about a book, you're over here trying to tell me that I'm being a bully and I'm being this and that. Well, I'm not saying that people are doing that to me specifically, but it's really
What?
fascinating to see people justify and excuse a relationship between a girl and the man that had helped.
We get that. Let's see what this one's about. Because clearly romance books are the thing. I don't know. On her channel anyway. I actually want to see this one.
Let's be real here. This is a marketing ploy. I'm gonna keep annoying you.
I like her page. She's black too.
Wow, I can't believe that I am the first person on YouTube to talk about this phenomenon. That's crazy. Toxic boy moms. Weird how I'm talking about borderline incest twice in the span of a week. I'm clearly going through a phase. Humor me. For those of you who have been in a coma for the past couple of years and have no idea what I'm talking about, I envy you. I give all of you permission to hit me with your car. Please, put me out of my misery. Before you do that, let me catch you up to speed. Toxic boy moms are mothers who make raising their son their entire personality. It's even worse when these moms also have daughters, yet still act like their sons are their whole world. Hey, that's me. Subscribe! Having unconditional love for your child isn't an issue. If anything, I endorse it in most circumstances. The word most is doing a lot of heavy lifting here, though. Listen, I'm a big fan of Law & Order SVU. I've seen those mothers defend their deplorable sons to the ends of the earth, using their last dying breaths, just for them to be sent to jail for diddling minors. So, I don't know, guys. Unconditionally loving your child, you know, it has its perks, but it also has its downsides, like most things in life. But I digress. There's a clear difference between loving your child and being in love with your child. With toxic boy moms, their relationship with their sons are usually too intimate, and now everybody in the club is weirded out. I'm not saying that these mothers are having legit incestuous relationships with their sons, but nobody would be surprised if they were. Like, have you seen these women? They're kind of crazy. If anything, it would just connect a lot of dots and really fill in some blanks. Anyway, not condoning incestuous relationships with their sons. I'm just saying, 1 + 1 = 2. Usually when a mother seems abnormally close or emotionally attached to their son, it's because they have like a specific expectation for them set before they were even born. We see toxic boy moms treat their sons like they're pseudo-husbands because their real husbands aren't living up to their standards, or the mother themselves, they're single and trying to fill that void. Toxic boy moms will say something that would make even Sigmund Freud do the Dougie in his grave, and then they'll laugh it off as if they didn't say say something that would make Olivia Benson's spidey senses start tingling. POV, my youngest son just proposed to me with the fake ring I sometimes wear when I travel. Pray for the girl who thinks she's gonna marry him. Hashtag mine forever. There are
That is how they
million
talk. That's
questions
funny as
forming
fuck.
in my head. Most of them aren't even questions. It's just me screaming, huh? Another one of those questions is just me wondering what gasoline tastes like, but like that's unrelated. Don't worry about that. Listen, the gas stations. I was at the gas station the other day. I was sniffing the hell out of. Look, you know what? Let me not finish that statement. Let's get back on topic.
I told you,
Spending
like,
fake engagement ring
sure she would
aside,
be. She
whose
is definitely a
idea was
weirdo,
this? Actually,
but
I don't want to know. Don't answer that. Don't answer that. Yeah, I'm not gonna like
I'm
the
here.
answer regardless. So it doesn't matter. The concept of mothers being weirdly attached to their sons like this isn't new. All right, breaking news, guys. Mothers have a weird relationship with their sons sometimes. This is hardly breaking news. We've heard the horror stories of vicious mother-in-laws and wives having strange relationships with their partner's mothers due to unspoken resentment on the mother's side for whatever reason, whether it's like, you know, they think that the wife just isn't good enough for the son, or the wife isn't mothering the... Oh, God. Oh, I just want to die. I want to die. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Video's over. I'm done. Kidding, JK. I really got you there, didn't I? Emotional incest. It's a real problem. It's an epidemic. Actually, no, let's call it it's a pandemic. It's worldwide. For some reason, these mothers have been subconsciously treating their sons like they are their own partners, and the mother feels like they are in competition with any girl that their son has a relationship with. Very weird, very strange. Let's talk to a therapist challenge. Impossible. Not BetterHelp, though. This video is not sponsored by BetterHelp. This channel is not sponsored by BetterHelp. It never will be. I've seen the YouTube videos. I'm not a sellout. Relatively. Boy moms. Someone shared this to me, and I knew I needed to share it with you. No truer words. Deep breath. Here we go. God, this is so theatrical and dramatic. Get a grip, woman! You always hear about a girl's daddy giving his daughter away on her wedding day. I had never thought much about the mamas and their sons, but y'all mamas give away something too. Something just as precious. Something I knew I would never get back. I gave away being the one he hugs and kisses.
oh hell
I
no.
gave away being the one he looks for in a crowd. I gave away being the first person he turns to when things get tough. I gave away being the one he makes laugh in the middle of the day. I gave away being his #1 girl. I gave away a piece of my heart.
She has to be
She's a
stopped.
my heart. Sorry. I gave away my school for the 100th time. Whatever. Okay, that numbers, words, whatever. You know I can't read. He may have a headache, or he may just want to get out of class and chat with you for a minute. Sit next to his hospital bed, even though he screwed up. Soak up every minute under those Friday night lights. Love him, and forgive yourself for the things you didn't get right. Because one day, you will give them away. Why is this cut off? I can't see the rest of this all of a sudden. You will stand and watch him give his heart to the love of his life. You will dance and he will say the sweetest things about who he has become because of you. He will hug you tight and it will feel a little like a goodbye. You will become his second best girl.
Okay, let's see this. This is about Lolita.
Hi, this video contains descriptions of self-harm, sexual abuse, and children being put in dangerous situations. Watch at your own discretion. I have started making this video 3 different times, and each time the subject matter changed. The first time was 2 years ago, when I rewatched Sleepover for the first time in decades with my niece, and realized this feels super inappropriate. It reminded me of a sanitized version of Catherine Hardwicke's 13, but made for a much younger audience. The first version of this video was just a comparison piece between those 2 films. 13 and Sleepover are the same movie in different fonts. They both follow preteen girls in a rush to grow up. Girls who want to impress a peer they deem to be far more sophisticated. Both use a mother-daughter dynamic as a catalyst for rebellion, motivating the protagonist to begin the process of separating from being mommy's little girl to become becoming her own woman. Both films include the topics of young girls wearing thongs and having sex and being exposed to environments they really should have no part in. They each paint a gruesome portrait of society's treatment toward girls, but only one of them tries to convince the viewer that its portrait illustrates felicity. 13 is the gritty, unflinching look at the cold world of troubled youth. It's a bitter pill. Sleepover is the candy-colored comedy geared towards middle schoolers. It's sugary sweet. And somehow they're both hard to stomach. I was thinking a lot about children in the entertainment industry, a subject that's been on my mind since I was a little girl. See, when I was around 8 years old, I told my mom I wanted to act. There was nothing on this earth I loved more than movies, and the idea of acting in one
Where in the fuck
excited
is
me.
YouTube?
Being an introverted homebody, almost grandma-like child, my mom was thrilled that I wanted to do something outside of the house. She signed me up to audition for a talent agency, she bought me a new outfit, she got my hair done, and she drove me to my first audition. I prepared a monologue that I didn't end up having to use because I was given a short script to read from instead. I went into the room. 3 or 4 adults sat behind a long table. I was nervous but determined. I read my lines and put as much of myself as I could into the words that I didn't fully understand. A week or so later, my mom got a call from the agency. They liked me. They wanted to represent me. When my mom got off the phone, I all but attacked her. I wanted to know everything they said. How was my performance? Did it feel real to them? Was I talented? What did they like about me? They said they liked your legs. For the next few years, I became obsessed with my legs. What was it about my legs that made them appealing? What was wrong with me that the most appealing thing about me was the thing that the camera wouldn't even be focusing on? Before I joined the agency, when acting was just a dream, I thought of acting in terms of monologues and comedic timing and reactions, and even though I didn't know the word back then, dramaturgy. But I didn't really think all that much about appearance. I certainly didn't think about my body being appealing in some way. I started thinking of myself not in terms of what I could do, but in terms of how I could look. Much like the monologue I memorized that I didn't have to use, what I could do proved to be rather useless. What seemed to make me valuable was how I looked. Coming to the project with this in mind, the video changed again. This time it was about Sleepover and 13, but also about a bunch of other child actors, and it was about agency and bodily autonomy. I wanted to interrogate the limits to what should be asked of children in filmmaking. I was thinking about children in the industry left beholden to the whims of filmmakers who put their vision above all else. Among these were The Heart is Deceitful Above All Things, Sweet, Sweetback, and Kids. But then it started to lose focus again when I remembered that adults are just as frequently asked to put themselves in danger for the sake of a scene. That video is still coming. Stay tuned for it. Anyway, then I did some more thinking about 13. In writing about 13 specifically, I learned a lot about Nikki Reed's experience creating the film, and I kept thinking about my stupid legs. Let me start from the beginning. 13 was started as a sort of therapeutic project for Reed, who was going through a rough time. Divorced parents, splintered friendships, and a barrage of TV messages telling her that beauty was the most valuable currency. Catherine Hardwick was a friend of the family and thought it would be helpful for Reed to do something creative. They started writing a script about some of Reed's experiences and things she saw her friends going through, and the result, after 6 days, was 13. 13 is one of those movies that I would define as being iconic, but if you haven't heard of it, here's a little rundown. The film begins on the first day of 7th grade. Tracy Freeland is a well-behaved honor student who has a mostly good relationship with her mother. Tracy surrounds herself with friends who have good heads on their shoulders. She does what her mother says, she's kind, and she's well-adjusted. This is a half-truth. Tracy is also struggling with her parents' divorce, with her dad seeming completely uninterested in her life, with her mom still allowing her ex-boyfriend, an addict, into their home and into their lives. Tracy's burgeoning depression goes unnoticed, and she quells these disconcerting feelings by cutting herself and pretending that everything is fine. When Tracy
I'm gonna
meets
order
Nicholas
DoorDash. I'm
Loma, a
hungry.
fellow 13-year-old,
And for some reason I feel drunk. I haven't drank not one sip of alcohol today. I feel drunk. Leave me alone. I hate when y'all do that shit. Hey. Yeah, I got the pants. They're pretty cute. I got everything that I was supposed to get today. I still have more stuff coming throughout the week. Feeling good. Can't complain. I think the cutest thing that I got today, I don't know, I got a lot of stuff, so I don't know, was my shoes. My shoes that I got. Now in total, I have 4 pairs of shoes. I'm rich, right? And it's just like more and more coming. This is awesome. Because I kind of want a steak. I know. And I got my jacket today, and the patches look like phenomenal on that jacket already. It's gonna be so fucking fire, bruh. I'm just kind of concerned about the other 4 patches that I have coming because I don't want them to look cheap in comparison to those. I don't know. I don't even know how I would make those. That would be an expensive ass jacket to even profit. Right, that would be like a $200 jacket. Okay, catch you tomorrow. Much love.
She's awed by her beauty, her confidence, her style, and her complete disregard for authority. From there, the movie sees these two girls as they go on stealing sprees, experiment with drugs, and engage in unprotected sex. The world presented in 13 is brutal. It's a cold world that only gets colder, as evidenced by the cinematography, which starts off with a normal palette, but becomes bluer and grayer as Tracy slips deeper in self-destruction. The story that 13 was co-written by a 13-year-old brought the film an unprecedented amount of attention. When it was screened at Sundance, Fox Searchlight was quick to pick it up, and it didn't take long for the film to take off. Teenagers loved the movie because they could relate to it. Some teens also loved it because they romanticized Tracy and Evie. You can still see that playing out today, with TikTok guides on how to dress like Evie Zamora. Parents were terrified of the film and couldn't believe that kids so young could be exposed to such things so quickly. Naturally, it incurred some controversy, but for the most part, it was rightfully extolled and even used as an after-school special to a degree. I mean, there were even DARE pamphlets handed out at a screening in New York. The movie was used to start a conversation between parents and children about their lives, their worries, and peer pressure. For some, it was entertainment, but for others, it was a warning. And for everyone, it was an authentic look at the troubled lives of teen girls. 13 served somewhat as a tool, used to excavate the hidden truths of American adolescence, and for Hardwick, used to help a troubled kid find a release. But it could be and was doubled as a weapon aimed at the very girls it was intended to protect. The film is a moving and necessary work of art that's packed with magnetic performances. Even just editing this video, I would go into the film to pull a short clip and end up watching an entire scene play out.
Oh no. Get off of me. I hate you. Stop. I love you and your brother more than anything in the world. And I'll die for you, but I won't leave you alone right now.
Because it's the kind of film that just grabs you. Unfortunately, to no fault of its own, it's also the kind of film that gets oversimplified, misread, and used as a means of classification. See, its stars Evan Rachel Wood and Nikki Reed became synonymous with the characters they played and were pigeonholed into this nymphette archetype for a time. There's nothing morally repugnant about being typecast. It's annoying, but it's not reprehensible. It's just the industry. But Wood and Reed's typecastings were different. They were particularly unsettling because they were both so young, and because the roles they were being typecast from weren't these one-dimensional hypersexual characters. They were being typecast from roles that were nuanced, challenging, and emotionally devastating. Tracy and Evie are complex characters. Tracy pretends to be fine for so long that she eventually explodes. But even when she's doing drugs or screaming at her mom, she's a sensitive child who just wants to be happy. Evie presents herself as more sophisticated and in control.
I'm not in that class. I'm taking advanced physics, Mom.
That was a lie.
She manipulates people to get what she wants, but there's truth and vulnerability woven into her lies. At the end of the movie, when Mel drops Evie off at her aunt's house to stay for good, Evie is genuinely heartbroken. We see these girls being sexualized, but they aren't sexualized by the film. This is a tightrope to walk, but Hardwick pulls it off, able to expose how these girls learn to be sexual at a young age, but managing to do so without also becoming another vehicle of hypersexualization. We only see two